burgers and dogs were on the menu, but it wasn't the burgers and dogs. It was this pink lemonade vodka concoction. Oh my God.
Drinking.
I had a couple of them. But it was this Barstool vodka. It was sugary. And I think that's what was really
vodka is sugary?
This pink lemonade one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think that was the death blow of the cause of the heartburn.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, not loving it right now, but it's okay. And also had my screwdrivers, and was that it? I bought a Mike's Hard Lemonade tall boy seltzer thing, but I didn't have that. So maybe later, but I can't guarantee that today.
Look at you boozing it up.
I'm trying to put out the fire.
You went for such a long stretch without alcohol, and
it was a good group yesterday. It was a good group yesterday, so I had to partake.
I understand. Okay, yeah, we didn't do much here. We've all been sick, so we've just been kind of like hanging out, laying low. And I'll tell you though, I've been in the gym last 4 days in a row, even though I feel like doo-doo. I've been pushing myself because I'm telling you, it's so frustrating. Again, when you're like, trying to watch what you eat, and then you get on the scale and the scale doesn't move or goes up. And it's like, what is happening? And I have to say, I thought I was in menopause, but no, Aunt Flo came after 2.5 months. And I'm so pissed off because we talked about this. You have to wait a full year. And I was 2.5 months in. I'm like, I got this. This is it. I'm good. And then boom, she put her bags down. She was like, bitch, I'm back. And I was like, oh, no.
And Aunt Flo comes to visit as the worst time of the month.
I was so upset. I was like, man, when does this happen? My mom always said around 52. Well, guess what? I'm 53. And it's not happening. So I was upset. But anyway, yeah, just trying to get in the gym and maintain the weight. Man, it's hard. So hard. But, I got my proteins today. We're cooking up some nice steaks for this evening. Yeah, so it'll be a good meal. And I got that movie, Nona. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Why are you making a face? I can't wait to watch it.
I may have made fun of a certain person in my house for saying they wanted to see that.
Does Liz want to see it?
She does, and I said that.
Tell her I'll come over and watch it with her.
I said, I go, what happened to you? I go, you went from some of the things we used to watch to Nona.
I can't wait to watch. And my husband said he'll watch it with me. So listen, if you're Italian, you'll relate to it, is what I was told. So I want to watch it.
I saw the trailer, and I wanted to bury, as much as I liked that kind of culture, I wanted to bury my head in the sand for her saying she wanted to see it.
Sometimes you are such a jerk. I can't take you. Anyway, I might watch that if I'm feeling frisky later. Big night.
I mean, Nona.
Nona. I didn't call my grandma Nona, though. I called her grandma. I didn't have an Italian name for her, but she was right off the boat, man. Right off the boat.
Yeah.
So,
did she speak English?
Broken.
Yeah.
She came over, became a citizen, did it the right way, worked all of her life. And I was only 7 when she passed away, so I don't remember too much, but I remember broken English. And she always would put her hands like this. She would put 2 fists out, and she would say, pick a hand, not a la Taz and RVD, mind you. She'd say, pick a hand, and I would tap a hand, and there would always be candy, but she would put the candy in both hands in case I picked the wrong hand. So I always got a piece of candy from her. So she was adorable.
Magic.
Yeah, the little things that I don't remember much, but the little things that I remember are good ones. So I think this movie will be cute, so I want to watch it. Don't judge me.
I won't.
All right.
I won't. I just won't partake.
Okay. Well, I didn't invite you to come watch the movie.
Well, I won't partake when it's being played at my house.
Okay. Well, you could tell Liz it's on there and ready to roll for her. So, and then her and I will go over notes as we watch it. But that's the one I want to watch. It's cute.
To each their own.
Anyway, we had an idea for this show. I had an idea. I'm gonna say it's me. Hopefully, if this doesn't go well, it was Chad's idea.
I'll take the credit if it was a
If this
bomb.
goes well, it's my idea. So YouTube. I answer all the comments. That's me. People say this isn't her. Yes, it is. It's me. Why wouldn't it be me? People leave some suggestions sometimes, and one of our watchers, listeners, he wanted to know where the origin of the Queen of Extreme moniker came from, how it started, how I got it, and talk a backstory, I guess, from the beginning of my career up until, I don't want to say the end, because I'd like to feel
it's just getting started.
I feel like it might not be over yet, but my prime is over. I'll say that, but I'm still raring to go. But I could talk about it, but there's something funny that I saw that I thought we could do first. Oh my God, I have a crackling in my ear. What is that?
I don't know.
Am I getting vertigo? What the hell? Sorry, it's very distracting. So I saw something. I saw an article on, I think it was like Facebook or something. And I was included in the article. And that's why I went and I looked to see, is it a burial? Is it a fluff piece? Like, what are they writing about me? And at the end of the article, you were able to tap on AI stuff. And when I tapped on it, it was completely wrong. And I was like, what the hell? So I thought it would be funny if we brought it up and we put my name, ECW, whatever, and we see what chat thinks of me. Like, what is it accurate? How do they get this information? Like, how do they pull up the facts? Because I'm telling you, the one thing, everything I wish I took a screenshot because it was the most ridiculous write-up. Nothing was true. And I was just like, wow. Anybody who doesn't know me and taps that must think that I'm like the coolest person alive. I was AEW women's champion. I was all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I never even worked for that promotion. So I don't know how they get their info, but I thought it'd be funny to see what they wrote about.
Okay. All right. Well, we could do that. Well, I've got the old Chat GPT loaded, and I wrote in the chat box, who is ECW's Francine?
Well, you could start with that one, and then we could add on or build up or whatever. But this chat stuff is just taking over. I mean, I use this to generate the baby pictures for the shorts that I did. And the one picture that I'm dying to use, I was using a free model being cheap, and I ran out of tokens, and now I have to wait to do the next video. But the picture's hilarious, so I can't wait to use that one. But this is what I use to generate my baby photos. So,
which is great because somebody was trying to show me one yesterday at this barbecue from a movie, and I was like, oh yeah, well, look at this. And I was able to pull yours out from our channel. So
very
just
cute.
Goes to show how Eyes Up Here is on the cutting edge.
Yes, we are. Baby
video technology, which, to be fair, I wasn't a big fan of prior to our usage of it, but I've adapted.
You have to warm up to it. My favorite, I'm going to give them a plug, even though they don't need it. My favorite baby videos right now, Theo Von and Joe Rogan. Theo Von's face as a baby is him as a baby. It is unbelievably accurate. And Joe Rogan's just this big, chubby, bald baby. And they're so cute. I'm obsessed. I watch everything with them. I love them. You can shake your head all you want. They are the cutest things.
The only thing is they're just weird. They're just
weird.
Not.
No, they're not weird.
They're weird.
They're
weird.
Not weird.
They're weird. The one where you're talking about Terry Funk and you talk about getting slapped, and it's a baby talking about getting slapped. It's weird.
Well,
and like the previous one where it's that one picture of you where you what you're wearing. I know what you're wearing, and then the baby's wearing what you're wearing. It's weird, you know.
It's the best. I love it. Oh, wait till you see the next one I do. That's hilarious because the outfit that she has on is so ridiculous, and she has eyeliner on. I can't wait.
I will be patiently waiting. This
I
is, I
can't
mean,
wait to
this
do
is
it.
where I got to tip. I told you, I tipped my cap to you. You beat me as I was trying to face swap, and they're telling me the one video I read was like
Dude.
face swap, do this and that, and blah blah blah, and then you beat me to it. I was
Yeah.
2 days into working on it.
No, I Googled it for 10 minutes and I found it. I was like, hey, I can do this.
Again, I tip my cap. All right, so here we go. We got who is
All right.
ECW's Francine. Let's click the
Who
old.
is this bitch? What does she do?
So it searches the web. So it takes from searches, right? It takes from
Okay.
Wikipedia. It takes.
This is Wiki. Right there.
So
this is all Wiki.
So right there, and I saw that one pop up too, and it says it right. It says Wiki right there, right? It says Wiki right there. But okay, right here it has forums and stuff. I've never seen that referenced before. And I'll be honest with you, before we start going through it, when I was doing it before we went on the air and I searched it and I didn't write in who it, I just wrote ECW's Francine. These things didn't pop up. It just generated facts. So if you want, we can research it and see what pops up. Because that just shows how unpredictable this stuff is. Every time you do it, you get something different.
Pro wrestling fandom. You know what that is? That's when they make up weird story. Oh my God. That's when they make up weird stories. Oh, click that. Did you ever read? I've had affairs with every single man in professional wrestling in these fandom. They paired the women up with like the men. Have you read this stuff?
Like fan fiction?
Yeah, they're like fantasy. Oh my, that's a whole nother. That might be a rabbit hole we need to go down.
That could be, but just reading it briefly, this is pretty accurate right here.
Well, I'm not retired.
Okay, so then one thing, retired American professional wrestling valet.
I don't like Wiki because the fans can put whatever they want in it.
Right.
I don't like that. So, like it says, I enrolled in the House of Hardcore training school. No, I didn't. It wasn't the House of Hardcore. It was the ECW Wrestling Academy.
There you go. So that
two different things. Like there's a bunch of discrepancies in this, but
debuted under Miss Montgomeryville. That's correct, right?
I don't know if it was. It might have been Penny Pulsations.
There you go.
The first one.
That's not referenced on here at all.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah. But the Wiki stuff, I'm just like, because again, anybody can write on the Wiki page, and I've never written anything on my Wiki page. You know?
Yeah.
This is just people adding to it.
After ECW's closure, Francine made appearances at other wrestling promotions, including Total Nonstop Action, Women's Extreme Wrestling. In 2005, she participated in ECW reunion events like Hardcore Homecoming and WWE's ECW One Night Stand. She briefly joined WWE's ECW brand in 2006, managing Balls Mahoney and engaging in a feud with Ariel. Dissatisfied with her role, she requested her release and retired from professional wrestling later that year.
All right, let's not read all this stuff.
Your impact on professional wrestling, particularly in ECW, remains significant as she played a pivotal role in many of the promotion's memorable storylines and feuds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's whatever. I want to know what they say when you type in try and type in like the origin of ECW Francine, the Queen of Extreme, or the Queen of Extreme. You know what I mean? Where'd you go?
Origin of.
You're gone.
Francine.
Queen of Extreme character or...
Okay. You like that?
I guess. Just try. You might put ECW in there, though. ECW.
Should we say ECW Francine's
Yeah.
or Francine's ECW?
Yep.
All right, we'll do that.
Right there. Why do you have to get off camera to do that?
Because the keyboard's behind the screen.
That's awkward.
Well, because I'm on a laptop and I have a PC behind me that I'm working on.
Oh, here's the wiki page. Okay, this isn't working.
Wait, no. That's the top part. It's generating right here.
Oh, okay. Let's see what they say. They're stumped. They don't know. Oh.
Developed organically through her evolving role in ECW during the mid-1990s. If you'd like, I can add a short section to the biography that explains the origin and evolution of this character. Here's a proposed addition to the early career and rise section. As Francine became more involved in major storylines and became managing high-profile talent, her presence and influence with ECW grew. Known for her willingness to take bumps, get physically involved in matches, and exude charisma on screen, she earned the nickname Queen of Extreme. This moniker underscored both her central role in ECW's edgy, boundary-pushing brand of wrestling and her status as one of the promotion's top female personalities.
Interesting.
Okay, let's go down.
Okay.
Would you like me to add to this or adjust further? No, we'd like to add. Let's add.
That's interesting. Well, okay. All right.
This guy's putting you over.
Well, I mean, he's not lying. All right, now that's just the is that what came up? Because that's the wiki.
I don't know why it switched to. No, we want to answer in chat instead. We want to see it in this.
Because I went from the Beastmaster with the pit bulls, then it was like the head cheerleader because Shane was the football guy and I was the cheerleader, and we were also JR and Sue Ellen from Dallas, according to Paul Heyman, and then the Queen of Extreme, which I love. Yeah, see, this is just
so they're editing it to include, let's see.
The wiki. It's wiki. They're just going back to the wiki page. Okay.
Okay, here we go. The Queen of Extreme moniker underscore birth or son. Oh, it's all right. So that's what it just said.
Yeah.
Let me know if you'd expand this section further or add more about her specific feuds or influence.
No.
You want facts?
I mean, I just saw when I did it, everything was wrong.
Let's go facts.
Everything came up wrong.
It might not have been chat. That's why.
It was, well, it was AI.
They're all different, though. You can build any kind of AI. Like, there's other kinds of AI databases, but let's see facts about Francine. Let's see what that's got to say.
Okay. Also, Google is a good search to just write, is Francine from ECW, and then see what pops up.
I'll go right to that next.
Uh-huh.
Here
are some key facts. Okay. Okay. I like that they use my maiden name.
Known as the Queen of Extreme in ECW.
Uh-huh.
Basic facts.
Oh, look at the little pin. Okay. Okay. So we know my full name. We know my ring name. They got my birthday correct. Okay. Birthplace is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Correct. Approximately 5'7". What?
5'3".
5'3"? Absolutely not. No, it did not retire.
You retired in 2006, apparently.
No. Okay.
Started as Miss Montgomeryville
Wow.
in
Okay.
1994, but rose to prominence in 1995, managing Stevie Richards,
Okay.
nicknamed dubbed the Queen of Extreme for her central role in ECW's chaotic hardcore style.
Oh.
Wrestlers managed Stevie Richards, the Pitbulls,
Everybody knows.
Shane Douglas,
Okay.
Tommy Dreamer,
Uh-huh.
Just Incredible.
Right.
Okay, all right, they got that.
But they didn't put Chris or Bam Bam.
Nope, just those notable storylines. Feuds with Beulah McGillicuddy, Dawn Murray, and later Ariel in WWE's ECW Revival.
Huh.
Took part in extreme angles, often involving physical punishment and table spots. Uncommon for women in that era.
Oh, I'm a trendsetter.
Post ECW appearances.
Mm-hmm.
TNA. Total
Right.
Nonstop Action.
Right.
Brief appearances post ECW.
4 to be exact.
WWE.
Well, five if you count my video.
Participated in ECW's One Night
Okay.
Stand,
This is
2005.
Yeah, we know of.
Joined
Okay.
WWE's. Let's see. But left due to dissatisfaction with her role.
I said, see you later.
Oh, we'll skip that one.
Okay.
See if anything pops up afterwards. Nope. We'll leave that one as is.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah. I mean, it's just. I think the name fit the character. I like it better than the head cheerleader. Now, I never really was digging the head cheerleader moniker, but I got where it came from. But like the Queen of Extreme, I think fit me, and it goes well with Francine. It kind of rhymes.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very catchy.
It's very catchy, and I think it's accurate. I think that like somebody asked me, do you think you sold well when you performed? And I mean, I think I did. I think there were many times when people thought I was legit dying, legit hurt. So I think my willingness to, I mean, I'm just basically sitting here putting myself over, but honestly, I think my willingness to just bump my ass off back then, when you didn't see many managers or valets taking those bumps, and I think I earned that name. So I enjoy using it. I'm glad I can use it.
What about the first time you heard it and it was said to you or pitched to you that this is what it's going to be?
I don't even remember how that came about. I don't know if I was told ahead of time or if they just did it when I was in the ring, like as an introduction, like just switched it up from the head cheerleader to the Queen of Extreme. I don't remember, I think they I think they tried it on different people first and it just didn't fit. And then I got a chance to use it and it fit, So I don't know. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad it stuck with me. I like it. I like using it. I like the way it sounds. And I earned it.
Do you think others may have resented you as the queen versus them not being the queen?
Yes. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. But then again, make your own destiny. Things happen for a reason. Pieces of the puzzle fit together the way they're supposed to. And this to me was a perfect fit. And I like it. I like using it.
As a fan watching, I mean, again, we identify the tenure that you had, 94, training in 93, 94 to 2001. So when you think of somebody and even if you compare it to royalty, that's a very long tenure. So the Queen of Extreme fits even when you put the whole tenure together. So, I mean, it was a fitting nickname for you, but then you factor in the bumps and the physicality. So it really was all encompassing. So it is the perfect nickname for you. If you could give yourself any other nickname, did you ever have anything else in mind that you would have called yourself?
Not really. I remember the Beastmaster, I was just like, ugh. I just hated the outfits. It was uncomfortable. It was like, I'm a girly girl, so it didn't fit me coming out like in those. I don't know. Like, we got to pick our own gear, obviously, and I did that because I was paired with the pit bulls who always came out in the PVC vinyl outfits. So what was I going to wear? A pretty dress? Like, it didn't make sense to me to dress that way. And I'll never forget Mick Foley, because I like sundresses and I like girly stuff, and I would wear a sundress to the building. And he pulled me aside one day and he was just like, I like you better in sundresses than I do in that vinyl crap. And I go, I know, but it doesn't match. Like, it wouldn't match what I'm trying to, I was trying to accomplish, like this team that looked good together, and it was just super uncomfortable, and I just hated every minute of it. And then when I got with Shane, I was just like, oh, now I can dress in these beautiful gowns and dresses and just look like I want to look. I want to look pretty, but I also want to be a badass,
Yeah.
and a badass in heels. And that's what I tried to do. And that's me just taking Sherry Martel and Nancy Sullivan, woman, and putting them together and creating my own character, which that was my goal. But then, like, the head cheerleader came about, and I was just like, oh, because it's such a double entendre.
Oh, yeah.
Head cheerleader, like, oh. So I was like, okay, well, head cheerleader, let me just do this little thing with the corner of my mouth just to give it a sexual innuendo in the ring and stuff. And that would always get a little bit of a pop. And then I just discovered that I was creating a whorish character that everybody hated. But again, it was fun to play,
They hated, but eventually everybody was cheering for you towards that end of the run where Shane was about to leave. You guys were baby faces.
Right.
But you were getting huge pops because they knew what to expect with your entrance. And, you do the little tease or whatever you were going to do on the rope. People were going nuts for you, even though at the beginning they were booing the shit out of you when you first, turned, and everything you did they hated. But eventually you were like turning them. Did you try to turn them back when you heard people cheering for you?
Well, I did turn them back because after Shane left, I had my brief run with Dreamer, which I was a babyface, which I hated. I shouldn't say I hated it. It wasn't as fun as being a heel. I prefer working heel over babyface, obviously, because when you're a heel, gloves are off. You can do whatever you want, and people don't like it. You don't care because you want them to boo you anyway. You know what I mean? I feel like working babyface, you're just trying to get approval from the crowd. And sometimes a babyface can do something and they get crickets. And then it's like, oh, you know what I mean? But like, as a heel, you can pull off more because you don't have to be perfect. You want people to hate you anyway. So if you mess up out there, and they don't know you're messing up, but if something goes awry or something, it's like, who cares? I'm a heel. You can boo you. I want you to boo me either way, But working with Dreamer, I became a babyface again. But then, that night when he won the belt and I just gave him that ball shot, it was right back to people hating me again. Because I don't think people wanted to see me with him. I think people in general liked me as a heel more than a babyface, even though I got pops and I got the crowd behind me, because I was still performing. I was more so giving moves rather than taking them at that point. But I still feel like my best work was done as a heel.
Yeah, I like you more as a heel. You just, it's
me too.
That scowl, just the look when you come through the curtain, you set the tone. you know, even though Shane might be laughing at people and jest, you know, your face was always still just stern RBF all the way.
It was, I could still do that face if I want to nowadays. But yeah, it was a fun, it was such a fun character to play because, you know, to be honest, 100% completely honest, coming up in this business, again, I didn't have a mentor that was a female. I didn't have anybody to help me. I never thought I was as pretty as other girls, built as well as other girls. You know, comparing myself to others, I had low self-esteem. So when I went out of that, when I walked out the curtain and I became the character of Francine, it was like I told myself, you have to think that you are the greatest person that ever lived. That's the mindset that I was in. And like, my shit doesn't stink. No one can touch me. I'm better than every single female and male that exists. And that was the kind of, I guess that was what I based my character on, because in reality, I didn't feel that way. So it was a total reach for me to play that kind of role, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. Perfect sense.
And, you know, I would try my best to fit the bill. And eventually I became very comfortable in it, but I still didn't think that, you know, I was the greatest thing out there. You know, when I would come back, I would be like, was it okay? Like, I would run the poll. Was that okay? Did I do okay? Blah, blah, blah. Not thinking, you know, I was the best thing out there. But while I'm in front of you, yeah, no one could touch me. That was my attitude that I had. So it goes to show you, like, that's such a stretch from the person that I was. And I was not that mean-spirited, hurt people. In the back, I'm trying to help people. If I saw somebody bleeding, I would run and get, you know, Band-Aids or tape or ice or whatever. Like, I care about people. She didn't care about anybody but herself.
Right.
So it was a fun role to play because it was so far from the person that I was.
Okay. That's great. That's a great answer. I went ahead while you were talking and I searched something else. I searched, did Francine ever win a belt in ECW? Just to see if I could throw them off a little bit. They said no. Francine never won a championship belt in ECW. Okay. And they just said the same thing as they did before. She was best known as being a valet and manager, often referred to as Queen of Extreme, blah, 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 blah. So I just said in wrestling, and it said in professional wrestling overall, not just ECW, Francine has never, and it went into black, bold, held a championship belt in any major promotion.
Yeah.
Her career was primarily focused on being a valet manager, particularly during her time in ECW. And while she occasionally got involved in matches, often mixed tags or catfights, she was never pushed as an in-ring competitor. Okay. Then I just wrote why. Right. So it said, great question. Why didn't Francine win a belt in ECW? Here's a breakdown of the key reasons.
Mm-hmm.
She was a manager of LA, not a wrestler. Francine's primary role was as a valet. It just regurgitates the same stuff over and over.
Right.
ECW didn't have a women's division.
Very good.
Unlike WWE or WCW, ECW never had a dedicated women's championship. There wasn't a belt for women to compete for. So even if Francine had wrestled more, there was no title available to win.
Yes.
Her value was in her persona. Francine was incredibly valuable to ECW as a character and heat magnet. She was involved in dramatic turns, betrayals, and intense rivalries. Her impact came from her mic work, storylines, and physicality in moments like catfights or getting involved in matches, not from actual championship wins. And finally, number 4, that's how ECW booked women. In ECW, women like Francine, Dawn Marie, and Beulah and others were rarely booked to win matches. They were more involved in supporting or escalating the men's feuds.
Very good. That's a great analogy.
It's like a book report.
Whatever.
I feel like I just did a book report on you.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, when I started my training, I went there thinking I was going to be a women's wrestler, because when I watched Eastern Championship Wrestling in the beginning, there was usually like one woman's match on there, and it was a short one, like not even 5 minutes long. It was boom, boom, boom. They were done, out of here. And then I saw the managers, and I was like, I can do, which I don't know why I thought I could do this, but I was like, I could do both of those. I can work, I can wrestle, and I could be a manager and blah, blah, blah. So when I went there, I was going to train to be, I thought, a wrestler. And I, in front of Todd Gordon, I wrestled and I threw up and in the bathroom after I was done wrestling, and I did all this stuff. And then I meet Paul, and he shot that right down. He's like, no, you're not going to be a wrestler. And I was like, what? He's like, no. He's like, there's no money in women's wrestling right now. He goes, you're going to make all of your money and your career as a manager. He goes, trust me. And he was right, because he didn't push the girls as female wrestlers, although we did wrestle on occasion, like, a couple singles matches. We had a bunch of tag matches. The only girl that he really would push as a wrestler from time to time was Jazz, and she would end up working with the guys more so.
Right.
But she was a manager too. She was more known as a manager than a wrestler in ECW. We all were. But that's the way Paul saw it. And again, this was, the 90s. It's not what it is now. It's not the type of fanfare that the women get these days. That wasn't around back then. It was out there, but they just weren't being pushed the way they are being pushed today.
Right.
So that's why I went in that direction, and I'm glad I did. I feel like I think I've had a very successful career in the role that I chose, and still getting booked to do things in the year 2025 at 53 years old. It's not bad. If I had a bad career, I don't think people would be booking me anymore, Oh,
absolutely.
People still want to see Shane and I and ECW as a whole. And I am very, very blessed that I've had the career that I've had, and I'm still able to work and do certain things. And, I'm proud of what we did. Again, I think ECW was groundbreaking, and I think it was something special, and no one can take that away from me. And I'm proud to be an ECW original. I really am.
You should be. You did something very special. But before we wrap that up, I have to just tell you, I added one more question.
Oh, Jesus.
I just wrote in catfights ?
Oh boy.
So
am I the queen?
They said, yes, in the context of pro wrestling, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, a catfight referred to a staged physical altercation between female performers, often managers or valets, meant more for entertainment and shock value than actually for wrestling competition. In ECW specifically,
Yes.
The term catfight was used frequently, especially by Joey Styles, who would yell, catfight, catfight, whenever two women started fighting. These fights were typically short, chaotic brawls involving hair pulling, slaps, rolling around, and sometimes suggestive physicality.
Suggestive.
They were often part of storyline rivalries between valets like Francine, Beulah,
yes.
Jasmine St. Clair, etc. Example, one of the most famous ECW catfights was Francine versus Beulah, two of ECW's top valets who had an ongoing rivalry during the mid-90s. Their clashes were extremely popular with the ECW audience, often ending in chaos. Today, the term catfight is considered outdated and sexist, as it trivializes women's roles and focuses on the spectacle over skill. Modern wrestling promotions, especially WWE, AEW, and others, now treat women as serious athletes and give them more meaningful in-ring opportunities with real titles, main events, and longer matches. But in ECW's heyday, catfights were a staple of the over-the-top, adult-oriented entertainment the brand was known for, and Francine was often at the center of them.
All right.
Good for you.
I am the leader in the catfight category, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a cat fight is degrading in any way. In fact, I welcome the women of today to do them. I wish there was more managers out there. I wish there were more cat fights to be had. I think it adds an extra element to the men's matches. I don't think it takes away from anything. I just think it's fun. I love when people are ringside and you never know what they're going to do. And there's a lack of that in today's day and age. I don't think it diminishes the role of a woman. I don't think it degrades women at all. If you look at fights that are had with drunken women in bars, the first thing they do is they lunge at each other, go for the hair, and take each other down and start rolling around. It's a real thing.
100%.
So I don't know what this chat GPT is talking about, but I feel like it was a fun, integral part of the matches back then. And I think they should bring it back.
I mean, Fonzie was involved in some. Todd Gordon was involved in some.
Sure.
I mean, it wasn't just the
there were male cat fights. There were definitely male cat fights out there. And they added a different element or a different layer to the match and the storyline. I loved them, and I know the fans loved them. So I don't know. I thought it was good. But to get off me a minute, I watched that movie Queen of the Ring. Have you seen that?
I have not. I do want to see it. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. My only critique, this is something that I have not seen anywhere, and it bothers me to death. Of course, they're going to use the same actors and actresses throughout the movie, but it's like she has a son in the movie, and he's a baby. And then like later on, he's in his 20s, but they're still all the same age. Like nobody aged in the picture. That's what irked me. I'm like, why isn't she 20 years older? Like, what is happening? She looked exactly the same as when the son was a baby. That's what irked me. But the story was good. I enjoyed the movie.
And who is it? Mildred Burke? Is that who it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was Mildred Burke and Mae Young, and that era, and how they were corny and at carnivals, and it escalated into the NWA, and it was a good watch, and I did enjoy it, but I just didn't like how like time lapsed and everybody was still just the same age except for the baby.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I was just like, eh. But I'll tell you what, I saw a video of the lead being trained by Charlotte Flair, and the one role of the woman June that was played by Camille was supposed to be Charlotte, and Vince pulled her, is what I read. Wow. Yeah. So and the reason that I read is because it was too small of a production.
Oh, well, we heard about stories like that in the past.
Yeah.
It was Rocky and Hulk Hogan, so that sucks.
I don't know, but they showed. I saw like backstage stuff of Charlotte training her, and the good stuff. I would have loved to see Charlotte in that role, but Camille did great. I thought everybody did great. The acting was good. Story was good. Just the time lapse bothered me, but otherwise, give it a look. Give it a look.
I definitely will. I will check that out.
Yeah, it was cute. You have anything going on?
No, just ready for summer of Eyes Up Here. Getting ready.
All right, me too. Well, before we get into that, I want to plug one appearance that I'm doing, if I may. Okay. My first time going to this event, it is River City Wrestling Con. Shane and I will be there. And there it is. Thank you. June 7th and 8th. This threw me off. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. It's usually a Friday and a Saturday. So when we were booking the tickets, I had the wrong dates for my flight. I had to fix everything. But yeah, June 7th and 8th, World Golf Village in St. Augustine, Florida. I'm told this is a huge convention.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to be there. So we'll be there for both days. With more entertainment. Bambi, she's a doll. I love her. And that's my next appearance. And what is this bullshit with WrestleMania next year? I have to say
it's so up in the air. What's happening?
I'm so upset because we were already booked for New Orleans, and now the word is it might be back in Vegas. Who wants to do that? Not me. I don't want to go back. We were just there.
Yeah, that's that was so weird, all that stuff that happened last week.
I'm so upset. I want it to stay in the States, and I want it to be anywhere but Vegas. Anywhere but Vegas. You could put me in a back lot at Newark, New Jersey. I don't care. You said, I don't want to go to Vegas. Like, we were just there. Don't do it again, please. I'm begging you, WWE. Don't go to Saudi Arabia. Don't go to London. And don't go to Las Vegas.
Well, you got your choice of the three. I think I'd go for Vegas.
Oh, my. No, we were just in Vegas.
But are you going to London? Are you going to Saudi?
I don't think anybody's going to London or Saudi Arabia. Stay in the States and pick like Indianapolis or something. Or Minnesota. Wasn't Minnesota supposed to get WrestleMania 40? Let's go there so we can do WrestleCon.
Come to Washington.
How about it? I don't care. Anywhere.
Washington would be good. They got a lot of space for the
Anywhere.
cons. Nice big stadium.
Anywhere but outside of the country and anywhere but Las Vegas. Please, I'm begging you. I know the higher ups listen to my show.
Triple H, we know you listen.
Do something about it. But anyway, River City Wrestling Con, that's my next appearance. Let's talk about real quickly YouTube. Trying something different on the horizon. The Chadster had an idea, and I said, let's do it. We forgot to put the time on so we have to make another one. But
I'll add it.
What time are we doing? 9 o'clock?
I think 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. People drive time with me and Chad. We'll talk about all things wrestling and Disney and the world and whatever you guys want to talk about. But we haven't done a live in a really long time.
No.
So we're going live Wednesday, June 11th. Am I even going to be home that day? I hope so.
I hope so.
I'll
be looking at the camera like Garth in Wayne's World.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to be home. But we're going to, I'm home. Try it out. See how it goes. Join us. We will be accepting super chats too if you feel a little frisky that day. But otherwise, just join us for some good old chat. Bring your coffee or your booze. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And join us on YouTube at ECW Diva Francine !
That's right.
There you go.
Let's do it. It's going to be a ball.
All right. We'll try it. See how it works. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe. Because our numbers are going up and the content's going up. And I have baby videos and they're so super cute. And I need you to go look at them. I made them all by myself.
That's right.
All right.
Very proud of you.
Thank you. Where can people find you if they want to?
At Chad EMB on X, at IB Exclusives on Instagram.
If you want to follow me across the board on social media, you can find me at ECW Diva Francine. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy. And most of all, I hope you're staying extreme. Hey there, it is the Queen of Extreme Francine from ECW. Do you want to see more of me? Click over here to watch another video. Or click over here to listen to my podcast. As always,